Welcome to DarrenDaily On Demand, your most trusted resource to help you become better every day. Today's episode is another special recap of this week's DarrenDaily Mentor Sessions. This dynamic recap was generated entirely by AI and features two hosts discussing the key principles and takeaways from the previous 5 Workday episodes of DarrenDaily. Now remember, if you aren't a member of the DarrenDaily community to receive every morning delivery of brand new episodes of DarrenDaily straight to your inbox, you can join over at DarrenDaily.com/join. Let's dive into the episode.
All right, let's dive in. We're all about productivity this time around. Squeezing more out of our days,
Always a good topic.
Absolutely. And to guide us, we've got Darren Hardy's DarrenDaily episodes. So we're going to try to pull out, the most actionable stuff for our listeners. Okay, so right off the bat, Hardy dives into something a lot of us struggle with, that feeling of, I don't have time. To exercise, pursue goals, whatever it is.
Such a common excuse, right?
Totally. But Hardy, he doesn't sugarcoat it. In his Monday episode, he's like, look, even the Pope finds time to work out.
You got a point.
Right. Finding time, it never works. You have to make time.
Exactly. It's about priorities.
Okay, so no more excuses. Got it. But how do we actually do that? How do we make time?
That's where Hardy gets really practical. He gives you these concrete steps. One that I found really interesting is embrace the dawn.
So, waking up earlier?
Basically, yeah. Hardy argues that getting a head start in your day, before the distractions hit, can be huge.
I gotta admit, I'm not exactly a morning person.
I hear ya. But think about it. Your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain for planning and decision-making, it's actually sharpest in the morning.
Oh, interesting.
So you're using, your brain's prime time for the important stuff. Plus, willpower is like a muscle. It gets tired throughout the day. So tackling tough tasks early is, smart.
That makes sense. Front load the day with the hard stuff, then coast later.
Kinda, yeah. You're less likely to hit snooze on that workout or skip that project if you do it before emails and meetings and all that start piling up.
Okay, I'm starting to see the appeal, but waking up early, it might not be for everyone, right?
Of course not. But the principle is key. It's about prioritizing, dedicating time.
Right. Intentional about our time.
Exactly. And Hardy has other ideas too, like being a fitness opportunist.
Fitness opportunist, what's that?
Finding ways to sneak in activity. Taking the stairs, walking during lunch, things like that.
Oh, I like that. Little bits here and there.
Yeah, or breaking down workouts into smaller chunks makes it feel less daunting.
Those are good tips, finding what works for you.
Exactly.
But even with the best intentions, procrastination can still sneak in.
Oh, for sure. We all have those tasks we dread, right?
And that's what Hardy tackles in his Tuesday episode, The Procrastination Kill Switch.
This one is really fascinating. Hardy just lays it out there. He says everyone who procrastinates, they know what to do, they're capable, they just choose not to.
Ouch. A little harsh, but true, huh?
Right. So if it's not about knowledge or ability, what's holding us back?
Yeah, that's the question.
And Hardy's answer is fear.
Fear?
Yeah. Fear of failing, fear of judgment, even fear of success sometimes.
I can see that.
He encourages us to, get real with ourselves. What am I truly afraid of? Once you know that, you can start to deal with it.
So it's face the fear head on, instead of letting it paralyze you.
Exactly. Hardy calls it punching fear in the mouth.
I like that.
Taking action is the best antidote. Often, the anticipation is worse than the task itself. Just start. Break the cycle of avoidance.
And often that fear starts to disappear when you do, right?
Exactly. It's about momentum. The more you act, the less power fear has.
Makes sense. But even when we're ready to act, we can face pushback from others.
That's true. It can be discouraging.
And that's something Hardy gets into in his Wednesday episode, Power Move, How Self-Made Billionaires Claim Their Authority.
He uses a great example in that one, Margaret Thatcher.
Oh, the Iron Lady.
Yeah. Even she, someone who, changed Britain so much, faced huge opposition and even self-doubt.
Wow, if she experienced that, it's got to be pretty universal, right?
Absolutely. Hardy shares a scene from the movie about her where she's feeling overwhelmed. And her advisors remind her of her strength, to step into that leadership role.
So inspiring. It's like everyone faces these things.
Yeah. Feeling doubt, it's normal. The key is to push through it. Claim your authority.
Claim your authority. I like that.
It's about recognizing your worth, your potential.
Yeah.
Even when it's tough.
It's about believing in yourself.
Exactly.
Which actually leads perfectly into Hardy's Thursday episode, Elite Social Intelligence.
Oh, this one's good.
He talks about the power of 2 simple phrases. Thank you, and I'm sorry.
So simple, yet so powerful.
Right. But Hardy argues that these phrases, they can feel kind of costly to our ego.
He talks about the responsibility exchange theory. It suggests that saying those phrases, it's acknowledging our interdependence. which can feel like a loss of control.
So, like, we hoard those expressions as if they're weaknesses.
Kind of, yeah. But Hardy says the opposite is true.
Interesting. How so?
He argues those phrases actually increase our social capital.
No. Okay.
By acknowledging our flaws, expressing appreciation, we build trust, we strengthen relationships.
And the opposite, like bragging and blaming, that hurts us.
Exactly. Makes us look selfish.
It's choosing humility over ego, huh?
Right. Authenticity over trying to appear perfect.
So before we move on, what's standing out to you so far?
I'm struck by how these ideas connect. It's not just isolated tips, it's a whole mindset.
Totally. Intentionality, self-awareness, and courage.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a holistic approach, like a roadmap for a better life.
Well said. Ready to explore Hardy's last episode in the series?
Let's do it. So Hardy's final episode in this set is called Peak Life Architecture, How to Create Unforgettable Moments. And it's a really cool one. He tells this story about fulfilling his dad's dream of going to the Monaco Grand Prix.
I love those personal stories he weaves in.
Me too. But it's not just a nice anecdote. There's a real lesson here about intentional living.
Okay, so more than just making your loved ones happy.
Yeah, it's deeper than that. It's about recognizing, like, we have this power to make everyday moments special. Hardy didn't just buy tickets to the race, He crafted the whole experience, added details, built anticipation to make it unforgettable for his dad.
Oh, wow. Like, how did he do that? Give me an example.
Sure. In the months leading up to the trip, Hardy surprised his dad with little Grand Prix-themed gifts.
Yeah.
An autographed poster, picture books of the south of France, even French food to try, all about building excitement.
That's incredible. So it wasn't just the trip itself. It was like a lead-up adventure, too.
Exactly. And that's what he means by weaving. It's going beyond the basics, putting thought and intention into those moments. And you can apply this to anything, big or small.
So it's not just about, like, grand gestures or expensive trips. We can weave this magic into everyday things, too.
Absolutely. Being present, noticing details, creating moments that'll stick with people.
I love that. Taking something ordinary, making it extraordinary.
Right. Any other examples come to mind?
Well, even making a meal for someone. Right. Using a special recipe, setting the table nicely, playing their favorite music.
Perfect example. It's the thought that counts.
Or what about, like, making a personalized playlist for a friend who's going through a tough time?
Exactly. Showing you care, putting in that extra effort.
Yeah.
What else?
Oh, adding a handwritten note to a gift instead of just a card.
Yes. Little touches make all the difference.
I'm really seeing how this weaving can apply to so much. Bringing more mindfulness to everything we do.
That's it. And what's really fascinating is this weaving idea, it applies to our own lives too.
Right. What do you mean by that?
We're constantly weaving the story of our own lives, right? With each choice, each moment. Instead of just going through the motions, we can be deliberate about the experiences we're creating for ourselves.
So it's about, like, designing a life we love, aligned with our values and goals.
Yes. We can choose to be more present, enjoy the small joys, learn from challenges, embrace the whole journey.
That's a beautiful way to put it. Like, we're the authors of our own stories.
Exactly. And just like Hardy's dad, who cherished those months leading up to the Grand Prix, we can weave meaning and beauty into our own lives, no matter what our circumstances are.
That's so powerful. Especially these days, it's easy to get caught up in the rush and lose sight of what matters.
It's true. Finding ways to live more fully, intentionally, even when things are tough.
So it's not just about happiness happening to us, it's something we create.
Exactly. And this brings us back to Hardy's main point. We have so much power to shape our own destinies, overcoming procrastination, claiming our authority, weaving those unforgettable moments. It starts with taking charge, making choices.
You've really captured it. It's not about rigid rules, it's about a mindset.
Yes, empowering us to live intentionally, create the life we want.
You know, it's amazing, isn't it? A story about a father and son going to a race, and we get all these insights.
It is pretty amazing.
As we're wrapping up with Hardy's wisdom, I keep thinking about that weaving idea. Like, what if we could apply that not just to big occasions, but, to everyday life?
It's an interesting thought. Instead of just going through the motions, we could make every day, well, more meaningful, more beautiful even.
Exactly. Like, take your morning commute. Instead of just rushing, you could listen to a podcast.
Yeah.
Or, start that audiobook you've been meaning to.
Or, instead of scrolling on your phone, call a friend. Someone you haven't talked to in a while. Even a quick text just to say hi can make their day.
Those little things, right? Connection matters.
Absolutely. And what about dinner? Instead of just, eating, light some candles, put on music, actually enjoy it.
I love that. It's not about big plans. It's about being intentional.
Right. Making those choices that, well, they elevate things, bring more joy, more connection.
So what kind of small changes could people make? to start weaving this into their lives?
Well, think about your routines, the things you do on autopilot, your morning, your commute, how you interact with people at work.
Yeah.
What little tweaks could you make to be more present? Maybe a few minutes of meditation in the morning, or, taking a different route to work and actually looking around.
Slowing down, being more present, that's something a lot of us need, I think.
Totally. Put the phone away, disconnect for a bit.
Yeah.
Engage with the world.
It's about taking those little moments and making them count.
Yes, making them opportunities for connection, reflection, joy.
This has been such a great deep dive. We've covered so much. Time, procrastination, gratitude, weaving. What are your final thoughts for everyone listening?
Hardy's work really shows us we have the power to create the life we want. It starts with taking control of our time, our choices. It's about facing our fears, approaching things with intention, and remembering that success isn't just about goals. It's about living a meaningful life, a life with purpose.
Beautifully said. And remember, everyone, this isn't the end. It's just the beginning. Take what we've talked about and try it out. See what works for you.
Experiment, have fun, see what you can create.
Absolutely. And thanks for joining us on this journey.
Until next time, keep learning, keep growing.
And as always, thanks for diving deep with us.
That wraps up today's episode of DarrenDaily On Demand. We hope this special AI-powered recap gave you some valuable insights. If you're ready to continue leveling up and becoming better every day, make sure you join Darren Hardy and thousands of high achievers over on DarrenDaily. Visit DarrenDaily.com/join to get free daily mentoring that will keep you focused and moving forward. Thanks for listening.